Okay, welcome everyone to the fourth community spotlight for Open Web Foundry 5. So if you guys are unfamiliar, these events serve to show the projects that are currently building on Arweave, as well as provide the ability for the community to provide feedback to these projects and also maybe collaboration as well. So for this event, we have 5 projects presenting, and I'm really excited to show everyone what these projects are all about. The first one that we'll have presenting is one of our alumni projects from the 4th Open Web Foundry. So they're actually one of our presenters at Demo Day. And this is the Dojima Network team. And the goal of Dojima Network is to organize the unorganized Web3. So they can tell you a little bit more about how they plan to do that. Akil and Bagath here. You guys can start. I can see your screen.
Hi, Jesse. Thank you for having us over. And it's nostalgic to be back at the stage. Yeah. Hello, everyone. Today, I'll give you a small overview of what we do at Dojima and what Dojima Network is all about. At Dojima Network, we're trying to create cross-chain infrastructure that is able to connect blockchains that are completely different in the underlying architecture. And on top of it, we're trying to build a platform that enables users and developers from all the blockchains to meet at one place and thus creating a truly decentralized cross-chain ecosystem. So every blockchain is a standalone distributed ledger with no connection to the outside world, maintaining its own independent state. Now, with the cross-chain infrastructure powered by Dojima Network, all these independent blockchains are connected to each other, and also protocols deployed on different chains can now communicate with each other in a decentralized way, thus creating a hub of all blockchains with a single state. So Ethereum is a base layer solution designed to solve the problem of running code on top of blockchains, thus starting a financial revolution. As more people started using Ethereum, the transaction costs shot up, and people were in need of scaling solutions for Ethereum with lower transaction costs and faster transaction speeds, and thus Polygon was born. Now, there are many layer 1 and layer 2 blockchains, and users are craving for cross-chain interoperability between different blockchains. So this is where Dojima Network comes in to tackle this problem. Now, coming to the Arweave ecosystem, the number of applications built on Arweave is booming, and there are a lot of profit-sharing tokens being issued right now. But these are still early days, and some of the popular DeFi use cases that we see on other chains are yet to be made available for profit-sharing tokens. For example, there's a requirement to enable mechanisms to directly exchange your profit-sharing tokens with tokens from other chains. There's also a requirement to enable mechanisms such that your PSTs can be used as collateral in DeFi lending applications. And mainly, there is a requirement to enable mechanisms such that your profit-sharing tokens can interact with DeFi protocols on other chains. So with Dojima's cross-chain infrastructure connecting Arweave with other blockchain ecosystems, a lot of new use cases are possible with profit-sharing tokens. Users can now exchange their PST tokens with assets from other chains in an instant. And also, the same users can earn exchange fees by providing their PSTs to the liquidity pools. Next, PST holders can borrow any crypto of their choice without actually selling their PST tokens, or they can just earn additional return by going to a lending protocol and supplying their tokens as collateral. Thirdly, profit sharing tokens are basically yield generating assets, and users can come up with different types of derivatives. It's left up to their imagination. The applications mentioned here are just tip of the iceberg, and possible potential applications with PSTs are limitless. Let's see a simple example of how all this works. If you're a PST holder and want to exchange PSTs to USDT, the first thing you need to do is connect your Arconnect and MetaMask wallets to the Dojima network. Next, you'll specify how many PSTs you want to exchange. Our deposit contract will take the PST amount from your balance, then mint the same amount over in the buffer chain, and PSTs will appear on your MetaMask wallet. You can now connect your MetaMask to any decentralized exchange and use it to exchange with USDT from decentralized exchange. And you'll follow the same easy process if you want to use your PSTs on lending platforms like Arweave, with derivative services like Synthetics, or with DEXs like SushiSwap. And here is how it looks in practice. I'm connecting my Arconnect wallet. You can see the connected wallet address at the top. If you observe the sender and the receiver fields, the sender address is connected to the Arweave testnet, and the receiver address is connected to the Dojima testnet. I've already connected my MetaMask wallet, and you can see my PST balance there is 0. Now let's take some PSTs from Arweave's testnet over to Dojima testnet. Let's take 100. You can see that these are now minted in our testnet, and now it will be available in my MetaMask wallet. Now let's swap these PSTs with USDT using a DEX. For this example, we have configured the price of one PST to be equal to 1 USDT. And when I click on swap, you can see below the swap is being conducted. Let's give it a little time. Once completed, there's a success message at the bottom left. If you now go to my MetaMask wallet, you can see that my PSD balance is now 0 and my USDT balance is 99.1. And to confirm, let's go to our own block explorer to see the three transactions we have conducted. And you can see them there, the top 3 transactions, all successfully conducted. The decentralization of Dojima Network is achieved by leveraging proof-of-stake based validators. And the token powering Dojima Network is called the Doge token, and it powers all transactions on the Dojima Network. Doge is a staking token for running a validator node, and the current validator limit of the system is set at 100 validators to balance between the time to finality and decentralization. Thank you, guys. This is about Dojima Network. And for all of you out here at Arweave's Open Web Foundry, you guys must be really talented and lucky to be here. This is a great opportunity, guys, so make the best use of it. And I'm telling you this out of experience. And thanks for inviting us over, Jesse and Sebastian. Thank you, guys.
Of course. Thank you, guys. Thank you for the kind words. We're really. I think that Dojima is going to be a very, very important piece of infrastructure for the Arweave ecosystem, and I think I speak for everyone that when we're really excited to see where it goes. So thanks. Okay, so that was our alumni project, and then next up we have 4 new projects that are participating in Open Web Foundry 5. So next up we have OpenSet. And this is a project from Jake, and this is going to be a collaborative platform for building and monetizing open source data sets, and he can tell us a little bit more about
that. Thanks for joining here. Just getting this set up.
Perfect.
All right, can you guys see my screen okay?
Yeah, I can see it. Can you just go full screen?
Yeah,
Perfect.
Awesome.
Looks good.
Sweet. So yeah, as Jesse said, we're building OpenSet here, which is essentially data infrastructure for open source data sets. We're starting out with a data marketplace. So I'll tell you a little bit about the team. I'm Jake. My co-founder is Andrew. We're working with a very experienced engineer who prefers to stay anonymous at this time. We'll refer to him as Steve. Andrew and I come from a training data background with AI and ML data sets. And a big issue that we found was actually that, with AI and ML models, you need really strong data sets to kind of kick your data off. In order to get the accuracy that you need with state-of-the-art models, you need really, really good data. And so if you have a model that's 2 or 3 years old and you're training it on worse data sets, you're going to get worse results, even if the tech is 10 times better. So what we're proposing here is a way for smaller companies to actually share data in this open source way and create data in a collaborative ecosystem. So here's what we're proposing. Essentially, a data marketplace where you can come, you create your data set, and then you can sell that data set, and that is monetized you're compensated, and you can own that data set in a shared way. I'll go ahead and pop over to the demo. So we've got a small demo here. This is our kind of V1 prototype. You might see a warning when you open our when you open up our website for the first time. Apparently, we're very close to OpenSea, so it's we're being whitelisted right now. Yeah. Okay. So sorry. Here's our prototype. We've got we've got a search functionality, so you can come here and search for existing data sets. We've uploaded a demo here, a demo data set here. So you can click on this, check it out. You've got the preview here. You can kind of get a snapshot of the existing data, come up here and download. If you like the data set and you found it really helpful, then you can tip, and you can type in I want to tip in 1% R, and then actually reward the person uploading the data. So next steps, we're planning on actually making downloads a bit more transactional. We're working on implementing a profit sharing, so you can actually have fractional ownership of these data sets, which leads to a quicker exit for some of these data providers. And yeah, that's OpenSet.
Perfect. Thank you, Jake. Yeah, I would imagine it would be a massive problem with these data silos, because I guess there's no real incentive for these companies to actually share any of this data. So I think this tool makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean, right now you've got the vast majority of data siloed within the Google, Facebook, Amazon, and it really leaves no room for competition for new really good AI companies entering the space. So we want to change that.
Yeah, exactly, and open source is like the best way to do that, obviously. So thank you very much for presenting. It was great having you.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Jake. And then, so next up, we're going to have another new project, and this is Permagrade, which Lucas will be presenting. And this is just a decentralized technology to allow for permanent and interactive art/media on the web. So, Lucas, feel free to take it away.
Sounds good. Let me just share my screen real quick.
Perfect.
Should have 1 sec. Present. There we go.
Perfect.
So hi, I'm Lucas. Yep, you can see it.
Yep.
All right. I'm Lucas. I'm here to show off Permagrade, the project I've been working on, which is allowing for interactive and permanent media. The vision of Permagrade is to use blockchain and Web3 technologies to open the door to new interactive and more liquid NFTs. We initially started this project with the goal to support newer, smaller artists, museum and video game studios by helping them get involved with NFTs, create them, make newer, more interactive ones, and also ensure that they are permanently stored. And the plan was to work on the plan was to do this on a consulting model. However, the longer term goal was, while we build up this portfolio of artists and game developers and museums, the plan was to continue further to technology by allowing group ownership of NFTs, collateralization of NFTs, and eventually working towards a form of decentralized auction house. Kind of how we got started. A little bit of background on me. Been around this space for a while. Used Bitcoin miners to heat my home in Colorado in 2012, 2013. Sadly sold, or I probably wouldn't be here right now. That was a big mistake. Either way, I got back involved in the space in 2015. I was working in blockchain and healthcare. Made some progress, but the pandemic also, unfortunately, made it very difficult to do blockchain and healthcare. After that, took some time off, came back around and started looking for different market opportunities. I had a bunch of friends in the art space around the time of the NFT bubble, like 6 to 12 months ago. Started talking to them and kind of working with them just to look what was happening in the space. Working with them, kind of discovered that kind of all the smaller artists I knew were kind of trying to do NFTs, but really struggling to get their name out there. They didn't really know how to do it, A, technically, and B, even if they could get one deployed, they would just kind of sit out there and nothing would happen. So I kind of identified this market opportunity to work with these artists to try to help them get started. Started working with them, figuring out what the potential use cases were. That's when I kind of discovered Arweave, found out that, oh, we can make sure your art's permanently deployed. Also around that time, began to realize there's all these other cool things we can do with NFTs as well. Additionally, when we started off, I was primarily targeting artists, but I was able to talk with some museums too. They were looking for better ways to permanently store digital art. Also managed to get in touch with some video game studios who were interested in talking about tokenizing the artists. And then not on here, but there were a few real estate developers I was gathering information from too that'd be interested. After talking to them, we did discover there's a lot of new cool things you can do with interactive NFTs once they're permanently deployed. We also kind of as we continue to talk with them, we really noticed just how centralized the space was, both in the fact that it was really hard to establish yourself if you weren't already well connected. But even then, there's most of the companies in this space, and from our standpoint, were relatively centralized. So that's kind of how we began to move towards more liquid NFTs and a decentralized auction house. I have a quick demo to show kind of what we have deployed with our first interactive NFT. Can you guys see this?
Yep, looks good.
Okay. Sounds good. So this is a version of this is deployed on Arweave already. What you can see here is the public screen for an NFT we deployed, just kind of made to be kind of represent a museum piece or an art piece you have. You can see the painting here. It also displays the owner, and this is what the public would see. We're now going to switch to what an owner would see. So if you actually own the NFT and you switch to a new wallet, you'll see that it then changes to this dashboard screen. So the owner actually has a form of interactive control of the NFT. In this case, the owner can change which version of the painting they see. So we're going to send that over. And this is a real art from one of the artists I'm working with. You can also then change what the effect or what type of art style it is. In this case, we're going to saturate the painting. So we're going to send that over. Got to wait a second. Ethereum is not always the fastest. I'm right now in the process of moving this over all to Arweave. So this should all be deployed on Arweave probably in the next couple of weeks. You can see now it's gone through the painting saturated. And now if we go back to the original one, you can see now the public would see the new portrait and also the new effect on it. So the owner now has a way to interact with their NFT permanently. So now it's art that can change and evolve as time goes on. That's kind of the demo / prototype we have that I'm continuing to build up for the consulting portions. So let's exit out of that. For the current status, continuing to working on the prototypes for interactive and permanently stored NFTs. Currently, we have that first interactive version deployed on Arweave. I'm right now working on setting up with SmartWeave. And then after that, I'm going to be working on some of the other liquid features we have discussed previously, which included group ownership of NFTs and trying to add in some more interactive functionality. We also brought on our first client. We're working specifically with Beast Pets. They're a VR studio that allows you to, this is my words, not there, but I would kind of describe them as a VR studio for Pokemon, but the Pokemon are dragons. So you can go in, you can have a dragon, raise them. We're going to be working with them to create tokenized assets for them. And then additionally, while that is going on, we're going to be working on the further decentralized technology, because our long-term goal is not to be a consulting company, but to kind of grow as we build this portfolio. And we're starting work on the decentralized auction houses. Additionally, while we're doing this, the NFT space is fairly large, and the permanent web technology is very interesting. So we're continuing to research other use cases, talking to museums, artists, real estate developers, trying to make sure that we take in all the data we need to make this a very solid project. If anyone has any questions or want to connect, name's Lucas Hindren. Email is here, lhindre2@gmail.com. I also have a website at permagrade.com. You can also find me on Twitter. Right now, interested in talking to anyone who has any advice or feedback. Additionally, right now, it is a minor goal for me. I'm kind of focusing on the tech right now, but I am looking to build up a team for this. So if anyone would be interested in this project, please feel free to reach out. And thank you. That's all I have. So.
Perfect. Thank you, Lucas. Yeah, guys, if anyone is interested in collaborating or has any feedback, please feel free to reach out to Lucas or any of the founders for that matter. Okay, perfect. Thank you. So we have 2 projects left. So next up we'll have Christian with Rorschach who'll present. Angel, if you could just move off of perfect. So we'll have Christian with Rorschach. And this is just a decentralized gaming NFT platform. Hey, Christian.
Hello, how's it going, friends? Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Perfect. Right, how's that?
Looks perfect, thank you.
Perfect. So welcome, friends. My name is Christian. I'm the founder of Rorschach. A little bit about myself. I'm a former Microsoft engineer. I worked on Windows and xCloud. I spent 5 or 6 years on that team, and we built. They're still building xCloud, which is the Xbox's game streaming platform. So that's my history in the space. The global games industry is actually pretty massive. It's about $127 billion and growing, but that doesn't even include the metaverse space yet. When with the recent news from Meta, which is the artist formerly known as Facebook, all eyes are currently in the space, and it's only just it's going to get much hotter from here. With that said, the games industry currently it's currently nowhere near ready for the metaverse that we all dream about. The problem right now is that there's still very high barriers to entry for most serious game developers. Sure, there are a lot of new and useful NFT enabling projects out there right now, but they're mostly focused on the low-hanging fruits of like mobile and web gaming. On the other hand, the games that have actually made the blockchain leap, they're still fairly limited in the value of the assets that they have, mainly because their assets are just tied to one game. At the moment, realistically, there's very little Web3 dedicated tools for serious game developers. I know because that's the space that I'm currently in. So obviously, we think that the solution is to increase the tools and the libraries for game developers to adopt NFTs. Well, that's all well and good, but aren't there already many NFT platforms out there trying to do the same? And what exactly makes Rorschach different? Well, for us, our special sauce, essentially, is asset usage scalability. But what exactly does that mean? Essentially, assets created for the Rorschach platform will have to conform to specific in-game asset frameworks and implement our proposed metadata standards. What this means is that game developers only really need to make their assets conform to the requirements that we have, while also using our libraries in their game to support the frameworks and standards. Doing so allows gamers to actually use all the assets that they acquire in any game that is part of the Rorschach ecosystem. It essentially allows gamers to take all the assets that they've collected, all the treasure trove of their items, and go anywhere they want with it. For game developers, they wouldn't need to go and collaborate with other game developers for their assets to be adopted in other games. essentially making this entire process infinitely scalable. They would only need to focus on their assets and their game, and and the ecosystem will come to them, and their stuff will go to the ecosystem. What this does is it unlocks and increases the value of every single asset that these game developers make. So Rorschach is essentially a decentralized gaming NFT platform that empowers gamers through cross-game assets and building a sustainable global gaming ecosystem. The pillars for the vision essentially is obviously true asset ownership, universal asset standards and frameworks, permanent assets, protocol extendability, and a decentralized governance mechanism. We are planning on launching an alpha soon on a testnet with the following deliverables: game developer libraries, tools, and standards. At this moment in time, we're mainly focused on the Unity game engine with a focus on iOS, Android, Windows games, and WebGL. And we're going to launch a gaming-focused NFT marketplace. Well, marketplace, it's more of a trading house as opposed to an auction house, similar to what you see in MMOs, as well as we're also planning on launching a player and content creator dApps that match with what they need. In terms of openings, we're always looking for people for core developers. If you're experienced in smart contract development, dApp development, or you're experienced in game engine development, specifically Unity, C# and Unity, or in the near future, Unreal Engine, please let us know. So here's a sneak peek of what the front end would look like, where this is the home where you can explore games and collections and the ecosystem, as well as and your personal inventory, where you can manage all the items that you want, buy and sell them later on as you wish, or do crafting, loot boxing, whatever is available for each game and whatever the ecosystem has. So yeah, that's pretty much me. That's pretty much it. If you have any questions or would like to connect, or interested in contributing to the project, please email me at christian@rorschach.io, or send us a tweet, or visit our email or join our Discord. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, Christian. There's definitely a lot of games that I've put countless hours into that I would like to have. Yeah, that I would like to be able to bring into.
The reason I'm still stuck in the MMOs that I play is because there's so much stuff in there that I can't leave it.
Can't leave. Yeah.
I can't leave it.
Perfect. Okay. Well, thank you very much for that presentation.
No problem.
I'm sure all the other gamers in here will be able to appreciate that. Okay, and Angel. Perfect. Okay. So we'll have
again. Yes. Now you should see, right, my screen?
Yeah, I see the Gather Town. Yeah, perfect. And then you just make that full screen.
Okay, can you hear me well?
Yeah, can you just make the presentation full screen? Perfect.
Okay, now, yeah, it moves. Okay, so my name is Angel Imaz, and I'm here to talk about actually Earth Restoration Age. And I wanted to first start with the reason why we built Arweave. And Arweave is a verifiable computation platform on top of Arweave. But first I wanted to explain how we arrived here. So Earth Restoration Age, our mission is to make our protecting and regenerating our Earth transparent, measurable, cooperative, sustainable, and fun. And to do this, we realized that we needed a log. So first, the idea was to put everything on Arweave, and that's what we're doing. And then we have added a computation layer on top of it to be able to store what we call Earth contracts. So to do this, first I wanted to share kind of like a vision or a challenge. Because there is an opportunity actually to make the Sinai green again, the desert. And this will have very, very big implications. And this was interesting the way it was written, this article, because we do have the technology, we do have the knowledge. So a lot of the things now is just a question of getting to the imagination and going for it. So the problem we found is that we need to look at Earth as what it is, what keeps us alive. And we found when we look at it, we think that the work that the Earth does for humanity is not really valued. So there is no objective way of investing on the Earth itself, which is our biggest asset. So we brought the idea to make this transparent and to make it visible and to take it further to actually allow economic stacking to pass with the outcome of regeneration and protection. So the solution, we have created an objective value system for Earth, so we can measure the inputs and outputs that our relations with Earth have. And if we can measure, monitor, and verify the work Earth is doing, we can value it and help us move towards an economic system based on the protection and regeneration. So we can make our carbon resources help regenerate the Earth and hopefully bootstrap something else. And we slowly can switch that value and that energy that comes from the resources we have into another form that is the value of Earth itself. So to do this, we have gone back to Buckminster Fuller, and he created a projection that is called the Maxion. That is the one we see on the left. And this projection divides the Earth into, it puts an isochedron, and it puts the vertices of the isochedron in the sea, so it doesn't disturb the distortion. So it allows for a very accurate representation of the Earth in terms of everything is equally divided, because to get to a sphere from a plane is very difficult. So using this projection, Uber has created a library called H3, where they divide the Earth in hexagons, and then there are like different levels. This is used actually by a LoRa network and a Wi-Fi network that is called Helium as well, in order to do something called proof of coverage. So we use this, which divides the Earth in hexagons at different layers of resolution. So on the top layer, we can see that the Earth is divided in 128 hexagons, and then it's subdivided like a fractal until it gets to an hexagon that is about 1 meter square. So, and what we do with that is that we link it with an Earth index. And here's where it comes the protection and regeneration that is made objective, because we measure the inputs and the outputs on any given hexagon. And if what we give to the hexagon is more than what we take, then we are regenerating. If what we give and what we take is equal, then it's sustainable. And if we take more than we give, then it's destruction. So then we can start to objectively measure it. And these hexagons, they are actually atomic NFTs. So what we have built with this Earth Regeneration Age, what we want to build, it's a Terraverse, which is a digital twin of the Earth that has objective data that can be measured, monitored, and verified. And this can be used, for example, to train AI. So I was very happy to see about the open data, because I see a lot of connections there. And then an Earth marketplace for protection and regeneration. And I'm not going to go into a lot more into this, but the idea is that we can use it to generate a token, like an NFT, for example, of the project on the first one is this little lake, is the first phase of the scenario regeneration project. And we can value it, and then it has a regeneration potential. And if this potential is achieved, the Earth index for this NFT, which is physical, will go up, and then we can make it green. So for this, we need to build Arlex. So we already have Arweave, which is fantastic. Without it, we couldn't even think about this. And on top of Arweave, we have built what we call a verifiable computation framework. And what does this mean? So in essence, we have a guarantee that the current in-memory state is the reconstruction of the immutable log on Arweave. So every single thing, it's stored on Arweave. And it's actually designed with what we call atomic Earth event, which is really an atomic NFT for a specific part of the Earth with a specific time. And then on that, you can have a binary like a picture or a 3D scan or any other binary. And this creates like an atomic Earth event. And this is what is later used for the regeneration. And it's cached in memory, Arlex, so it's fast. It has like a queue. So it can put in-memory transactions for contracts that are similar, so it can bundle them and then put them all together. And then it actually spawns a bin machine, so the same as what Arweave is running on. And it allows to be played with Livebook, which is like a playground that Elixir has. And inspired by the profit-sharing communities, we are exploring the concept of value-sharing communities, where you create, for example, a value-sharing community for the regeneration of the Sinai, and then part of the abundance and the value that is created in this community gets shared, for example, with the fisherman. When there is a project down one we're building, where they are going to have an app in their phone mobile, and then when they take a fish, they're going to take a picture, and with that they're going to decide if I don't catch it because it's better for the environment, I'll get X amount of tokens. So maybe it's better for him rather to give it back than to sell it in the market, because at the end of the day, regeneration cannot happen without people. So yeah, inspired in these profit sharing communities, we are exploring this concept of value sharing. So potentially the idea is we could stack PSCs toward this value sharing, so to kind of give back into these regeneration projects. And yeah, that's it. I have all the code is actually in GitHub, and actually, 1 second. So the code of Arweave is on GitHub, and there is actually this is a live book, this README Live MD, and this live book is actually interactive. So if I copy it, if I open it, so 1 second, let me open my local live book. This is on GitHub. So this is Livebook. This is like kind of like the Jupyter notebooks, but for Elixir. And now it's taking a lot of momentum because the machine learning is really advancing in Elixir in this area. So if we import this, so if we get this, we can actually see an example explaining how it works with the code itself. You can run it, you can evaluate it, and if you put your own keys, there is some example RLX contracts, which is really like kind of like it's really like a SmartWeave. Really, we have inspired a lot in SmartWeave, but it runs Elixir code. So, for example, this is how a contract looks like to transfer gold, and it can be anything. So yeah, that would be it. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you, Angel. Definitely very ambitious, but solving a really important problem. And if anyone wants to chat with them or any of the founders, we're going to be putting all of this on YouTube, so you can see the video posted maybe today, actually, if we were able to get it up fast enough. But for now, we'll have a mingle session where you can talk to any of the founders you like, and ask them any questions or give them any feedback. So I'll see you guys out there. Thanks.